This is going to be a very, very practical and tactical conversation. So if you don't want to get into the weeds and you want something just a little bit more mindless, then don't watch this video. But if you want to learn how to generate leads before your book even launches, then I want you to listen up here because I'm going to give you 3 different strategies that you could use right after you listen to this, okay? And each one of these I have tried for myself as a 4-time best-selling author, and I've shared with others, dozens and dozens of others who have gone on to write, publish, and launch their own nonfiction book to grow their business and make an impact. Now, the first way you can generate leads before your book launch, and I'll throw a caveat on there, this isn't an exhaustive list. These are just 3 that I want you to take action on and choose one and go for it if you are in the process of writing your book. The first one is create a challenge. Okay, and here's what I mean by this. Let me give you an example. When I was writing my book, Big Idea to Bestseller, I created a 90-day challenge called Project Bestseller. And what this was this was a challenge that I invited people to opt into so they can follow my journey of writing a book for 90 days and see exactly what I did every single day in this challenge en route to coming out with a book. And what happened is not only did I have this challenge, which added a ton of accountability, but I brought in hundreds of leads. I got people engaged in the journey, and I brought in several new clients, resulting in tens of thousands of dollars who just followed me. I was bringing in revenue before the book was even done, which was the whole objective of writing the book in the first place, because I had a way to bring in leads. And then I had a process on how to invite them to join me. And so here's why a challenge is a really, really great thing to do if you are trying to bring in leads before your book launches. Okay. Now, you might be thinking, well, Jake, I'm not writing a book on how to write a book, so the challenge won't work for me. No, let me explain. Let's say you are doing a financial book and you could do 30 days to save your first $1,000, and you get people to opt in on that because that's a core concept that you talk about in your book. Amazing, right? If you are talking about a book on short-term rentals, you could run a challenge that is a 5 or 7 day challenge around finding your first short-term rental. And that's a basis of what your book will teach. So it gets people to know about the book, but it also gives them a chance to actually get a result and to be part of your community. This is a great, great thing. So one, why a challenge is so great is you get to invite people in from the get-go. 2 is you get to add so much accountability, because everyone who comes into your challenge will know that it's part of your book and that you're writing this book. And so now you have that accountability to execute. Next is it forces you to talk about your book or talk about a key topic within the book. And lastly is it gets people interested. Look, you don't have to wait until your book's out to start telling people about your book. That's one of the big mistakes that I see. Instead, create this challenge, talk about your book, get people excited about it. If you noticed, when you're doing that, you're not just saying, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. You're saying, hey, we got something that I talk about in my book, and I'd love to show you this challenge that we're going to do that will cover a core concept in the book. Now you're getting people invited, you're getting people excited, you're getting people interested, and then you can also make an offer within the challenge. All right, because that's how you start to convert people. Because guess what? If people opt in for a challenge that's about the topic around your book, they're likely somebody who wants to work with you. So they join the challenge. Now they're going to get the book. Now all of a sudden they're your biggest fans. They're your biggest supporters. They're like, oh my gosh, I have to work with you. So a challenge can be very, very effective to generate leads before your book launch and give you a way to talk about it more. Number 2 is do podcast appearances. Okay. This is a great way to generate leads before your book comes out. All right. You do not need to wait till the book is done to be on shows. All right. I encourage people to use their book topic and their topics covered in the book, their best core concepts, their methodology. Use those to pitch yourself to be on someone else's show. So for example, when I was writing Big Idea to Bestseller, what I did was I pitched people to be on their podcast in excitement of my book coming out. And so what that did was I was able to bring in leads and generate awareness and eyeballs about me before the book came out. And then once the book came out, I was able to convert those people because they now had been warmed up to my audience. Now, here's what's really cool about this. For a lot of people that listen to this, the hosts of the podcasts, or I'm going to add even a bonus one right now. If you have a podcast, the people you invite to be on your show are often the people you want to work with. And so if they are the people that you want to work with, you can film and record this in advance of your book coming out, or you can film it and record it in advance, but then have it be released on launch day. But the key thing here is now you're getting in front of the right people who you want to promote your book, ultimately to buy your book and ultimately to work with you. You're building relationships with them in a very intimate setting before your book's even done. So get on podcasts and invite people onto your show. That way you can talk about your book, you can tell people where to go, you can have them sign up for something in advance of the book. Like, that is a huge way to generate leads before the book is even out. And this is really, really beneficial depending on the time frame that you have for your book, okay? Because there are some people who will only interview you once, so you want to make sure you time it the best. And so for some people, that's before the launch to get them hyped. For some people, that's to record it before and build relationships with those hosts so that they'll release it on launch day. There's a lot of different ways to go about doing that. And then the third way that you can generate leads before your book launch, and this gets me so excited because I wish more people did this, okay? I wish more people did this, and that's this. And you're gonna be like, Jake, this is the simplest one. Post book content on social media. That's it. That's how you're gonna generate leads before your book comes out. Here's what I see all the time. People are writing their book, they're working on it, they're grinding, they're making things happen, they're putting in the effort, but they're not talking about it. They're not talking about it. And how can you get somebody to be a lead if you don't talk about your book? How can you get someone to want more information if you don't tell them that the book is coming out? Now, for some people, there are reasons why you may or may not do this, but for most people, you are missing out on leads if you are not posting book content on social media. Now, here's what I mean by posting book content on social media. It doesn't just have to be, hey, look at me, I'm putting a book out. No, it can be like this, okay? Let's say you're a fitness person and you have a specific workout plan that you like for whatever it is, okay? And you say, let's say there are 3 tips to fat loss, all right? I'm just giving a super, super generic example here. But let's say it's 3 tips to fat loss. You could be like, I'm gonna talk to you about the 3 tips to fat loss, and I go much deeper into this in my book, but for now, here's the 3 tips. What you're doing is you're planting the seed that your book is coming. So now people are starting to say, whoa, they have a book? Whoa, they're more credible. They have a book. I should listen to this. If they're writing about it in a book, it must be more legit than someone who's just coming up with a random content idea. All right. This also lets them know how the journey is going. This gets people excited. And then here's what's really cool with this, okay, is you can post book content related to the book, content from the book, and you can start to see what are people responding to best. That will help you understand what are the key things you should put on your back cover. What are the key things you should use in your pitches for podcasts? This could be the key things that you can promote and use for marketing material. And then let me go even one step further here, is when you post about your book coming out and you're sharing content, you can ask people to DM you or to comment if they want an advanced copy, if they want to be on the launch team, if they want to be the first to know when the book comes out. Or you can even say, hey, DM me if this is something that you're interested in. Now, boom, you have someone who's ready to go, ready to buy before the book's even out. We've had clients who use their book and talk about it, and then when the book comes out, they have people lining up to work with them because they're like, wow, I watched your whole process. I'm sold. The book's officially out. You did what you said you were going to do. I just want to work with you. All right. So these are some really, really practical and tactical things that you can do. And this is for you at any stage of the journey. But if you are writing a book, you're in the process of it, whether you have just committed to it, whether you're working with us and you're outlining your book, or whether you're doing this on your own and you're just like, gosh, how do I use this for business growth? Create a challenge, get on podcasts, and post book content on social media. And if you do these things, you're going to be able to generate leads before the book has even been launched. And all this does is this just pours gas on the fire, because once your book actually launches, now you have an audience of people ready to buy. That can help you increase your bestseller status. And there's a whole bunch more that we're going to talk about, but that's for another time. I hope you found this incredibly valuable, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.